what are some misconceptions about sexual assault and mental health that you think are the most prevalent in society right now?
Yeah, so I think with sexual assault, it's really easy to kind of like jump into this like, oh, like what's the other person's side of the story? Or like, did it really happen? Or like, are they just making this up? Or like, or, there's so many different perspectives that people like to take on it, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter like the magnitude of the situation. Like you don't have to be raped in order for a sexual assault or a sexual encounter to affect you negatively. And so I think that's like a huge misconception, is that people don't really realize that it doesn't really matter what happened as much as it's the impact and the aftermath of what's like happening to you now. And so I think that's a huge thing. And just generally like the way that we approach mental health in every space is really awful. It's very shameful and blaming. And so I think the first step to everything is just acknowledging that it's real and that's happening. And acknowledging how you feel about it and just moving forward from there and talking about it.
So, Abby, something that I think is interesting and I actually would like to know myself is the importance of differentiating the terms victim and survivor. If you can explain that.
Yeah, I have a couple notes on this question. So I think the biggest thing when I was like thinking about this at first is just that the word victim focuses a lot on what happened, and whereas the word survivor refocuses your energy and the narrative on who you are and what you've gone through to overcome it. And so I think when I call myself a survivor, like I'm so much more than that. I'm also a graduate of Los Gatos High School. I'm a student at UC Berkeley. I'm a swimmer. I'm this and I'm all these other things. I'm not just a victim of it. I'm a survivor, and I think it's also a really empowering word too. And I think also, you were a victim. It's a past tense situation when you're focusing specifically on what happened to you. It's in the past. Whereas you will always be a survivor, and the way that you own that and the way that you talk about that is yours. And so being a survivor is just that you are who you are despite what happened to you. And you are who you are because you had to become this person to overcome it. And so to me, I find it to be a lot more empowering. And I also think you find a community in survivorship where being a victim can be really lonely.